when we know that we don't know enough. It doesn't matter you do. Holy Spirit, when we fall short and we know that we don't, you overflow. We need your strength in our weakness, your life in our spirits, God. Oh, nothing matters more. Hey, hey, hey. Here's the cry of our hearts. Spirit, fill us. Oh, here's the cry of our hearts. You are the fragrance, you are the sweetness. You are the joy, you are the reason for our lives. Holy Spirit, you are welcome, oh, to overflow. We need your strength in our weakness, your life in our spirits, God. Oh, nothing matters more. Hey, hey, hey. Here's the cry of our hearts. Spirit, fill us. Oh, here's the cry of our hearts. Onyakamo benelu makao. Namekweni ele memo nelu makao. Kamna bosondo nelu makao. Monso chineke benelu makao, kenelu makao. Nakalu makao, maso yalu makao. Monso bio. Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost. Oh, we need you now. Holy Spirit, come. Yeah. Fill us up, Holy One. Oh, we need you now. Fill us up, Holy One. Spirit, fill us. It's the cry of our hearts. Fill us, Holy One. Na yom so chineke kunelu makao. Nelu makao. Uso nelu makao. Nebin muamo. Nelu makao. Nene tezi nulu mo. Nelu makao. Yo, Benjala Yako. Benjala Yako. Benjala Yako.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I can see a lot of people joining in. My name is Odera, and I'm a volunteer here with ASAD, that is Anti-Suicide and Depression Squad. I'm really happy to have all of us here. Today is going to be a beautiful session. It's going to be enlightening. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure all of us are going to learn so many things here. We're going to learn, we're going to unlearn, we're going to be able to have meaningful discussions today. Again, I want to welcome every one of us. So I'm going to be the host for this session together with my team lead. Her name is Elizabeth Shem. The both of us are going to be hosting this session. We're going to learn so much. She's here with us. Hi, Elizabeth. You look good.
Hi, Odera. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining us this afternoon.
All right. So, well, this is 2 minutes past 2. We're just going to give some time for a few more people to join us, and then we'll go right into it. So if you have your pens, your papers, I want to advise you just like get it very close to you because we are going to take so much information from this session. Please feel free to drop your name in the chat box. Let us know where you're calling in from. Let us know how you're doing today, how you're feeling, how your week has been. Additionally, there you'll see our social media handles. You can connect with us, follow us. We'll also follow back. Let's know what this organization is about. Thank you. Okay, in the chat box, I can see Toyin. She's here. Well, welcome, Toyin. We're happy to have you. Okay, I can see Elizabeth writing in the chat box. My co-host, we're happy to have you here too, Elizabeth. Hello, Asomta. We're happy to have you here. No, we've really been looking forward to hosting all of you. Mary, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Ike Oluwapo, welcome. Hello, Vera from Port Harcourt. I can see you, you're welcome. Okay, Olatunji, hello. Welcome to today's session. Hello, Ahassan, I see you. Hello, Karina, you're welcome. Oh, from Enugu, we're happy to have you here. All right, well, those that are just joining, we're just giving some time for a few more people to join. Kindly drop your name, where you're joining in from. Just tell us a thing or two about how you feel today, what you hope to learn today. All right, so just a few more minutes and we'll get right into it. Okay, Olubanjo, I see you, you're welcome. Samuel from Kaduna, hello, good afternoon, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We'll get into the session shortly. Just want to give a few more minutes. Within the next 5 minutes, we'll be ready to go. Peter Dalla, you're welcome. Thank you very much. David from Lagos, I see you, you're welcome. Destiny from Lagos, I'm really happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining in. All right. We have a lot of people from different parts of the country, really. It's interesting to have you here. We have the men, we have women, everybody is here to learn, because this is actually going to be a session that will be important for every one of us as human beings. We interact with fathers, we interact with dads in every day of our lives. So I'm sure every one of us will learn one or two things from here. So I'm glad we're all here. I'm really glad. For those that are just joining, please drop your name, where you're calling from. Tell us a thing or two about how you feel today. Just roughly 3 to 4 minutes and we'll start. Amazing from Abuja. I hope I pronounced that well. You feel amazing. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, guys. All right. So without further ado, we'll just go straight into the program because I know a lot of us have things to do. So for those that are just joining, I introduced myself earlier. My name is Odera and I'm a volunteer here with ASADS. That's the Anti-Suicide and Depression Squad. Today we're having our July free mental health training. And I'll be hosting this session with Elizabeth Shem, the team lead of the department that's organizing this training. So at this point, I would like to bring on Mr. Dari Ashobele, the founder of ASAD. He's just going to tell us a few things about the organization, and is going to do a short session for us to help us feel better, help us relax, and then go into the session. Mr. Dari, please, if you can just take the spotlight now.
All right, thank you so much. Before we start, please, I'd like to start with an opening prayer. Heavenly Father, we say thank you for this gathering. Thank you for this event. We ask that you take control, Lord. We ask that you give every single one healing, both fathers, mothers, children, every single one of us that are in relationships, that for men that are struggling, for fathers that are dealing with so much, that we're able to bring healing to as many that listen, that we don't just listen, but we're also able to apply every single thing that we learn. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so
Amen.
I would quickly talk about ASAD, and then we're going to have, what's it called? We're going to have a session just to relax. Or maybe we'll, you know what, let's just do the relaxation session, then I'll talk about ASAD after, right? Or there. All right, guys. So if you can see me, kindly raise your hand if you can see me. If you can hear me, raise your hand. I know that many of us will not be able to speak because we're not hosts. So there's a raise your hand feature if you just let me know. All right. Okay. So what I want you to do now, for those of us that are paying attention, I want you to find a comfortable position in your house. And I want you to be relaxed, be laid back. Right. We're going to do some breathing exercises. And these exercises are important so that you can use it for yourself in moments where you feel overwhelmed. I promise you, it's a quick hack. It's a quick hack. So I want us to take a deep breath in from our stomach. So take a deep breath in from your stomach. Breathe out. Now let's do it again. Take a deep breath in from your stomach. Breathe out. Now this time around, you're going to take a deep breath in from your stomach, and I'm going to count to 5, right? So you take a deep breath in from your stomach as I count to 5. And then you will hold your breath. I will count to 5 again, and then you breathe out. So let's do it. Take a deep breath in from your stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe out. Now let's do it again. Take a deep breath in from your stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe out. Now this time around, I want us to do something interesting. Now, while you take a deep breath in, I want you to feel all your emotions. If you are angry, if you are hungry, if you're upset, if you have someone else, I don't know, whatever you feel, your feelings and emotions are valid. But this is the rule. You would only be, as I count that 5, you will feel everything, right? The first 5, you feel everything. Then the final 5, you will feel everything. But once I count that 5 and I say you should breathe out, you have to let go of all the negative thoughts that you feel. You must dump everything, whether you like it or not. You must dump everything. That's the agreement, right? So let's do it. Now take a deep breath in from your stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe out. Thank you. So one last time, let's take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe out. All right. Thank you very much. For those of us that did the exercise, I'm sure we feel a lot relaxed. So much. I just want to confirm in the chat box. How many of us feel relaxed, calmer? If you know, can you just chat? I just want to see. All right. David says it feels yes. That was so refreshing. All right. Thank you so much. Now, please, from time to time, if you ever feel overwhelmed with work, life, all of life's responsibilities, make sure you always do this exercise. It would allow you to focus, pay attention, quick hack of your body and your mind, basically, right? All right, so quickly, my name is Dari Ashobele, founder and coordinator of Anti-Suicide and Depression Squad. It's a privilege to have you guys here. So ASAD is a non-for-profit. We are a mental health organization based in Lagos, Nigeria. We're a subgroup of Executives Open Initiative, Just a quick hack, a quick information that you guys need to know. Every 40 seconds, someone takes their life globally, right? And so what that means is that every year you have 800,000 people dying by suicide. In Nigeria, where we are based, we have over 200 million Nigerians. We barely have up to 1,000 mental health professionals. And so what that means is that even if we had 1,000 mental health professionals, it means one person has to attend to about 200,000 people, which is crazy, which is ridiculous. So as ASADS, we've taken on the mission to see how we can help people lens our various solutions. What am I saying? We have a Telegram community that has over 300 people at the moment. We have a WhatsApp forum that has over 1,000 participants. And what we do is we have mental health conversations on Mondays and Fridays on Mondays, 7 to 8 or 8 to 9, while on Fridays from 8 to 9 consistently, right? As I'm talking to you right now, amazing team members are dropping our social media handles on the chat box. Please follow us on our social media pages to stay tuned with us. Aside from that, we have access to mental health professionals, local and foreign. These are paid, you pay for their services, right? And so you can reach out to them, pay them for their time, because these are the things that these guys do. They know what to do to make sure that we're okay. And then we also have mental health first aiders, right? It's available, it's free. You reach out to them, you fill a form, and someone from the team will reach out to you all for free. You're not paying for anything, basically for you to reach out to our mental health first aiders. If you're reaching out to the mental health professionals, please, you have to pay them for their time, right? To let them know what you are dealing with. Now, aside from that, we have a series of activities where every first Saturday of the month, we have a Twitter space conversations. For those of us that are familiar with Twitter, with our partners in Abuja, the Sunshine series. We also have our free mental health training that happens every second Sunday of the month from 2 to 4. We have our free mental health training. We also have our support group. For example, next we're going to be talking about the effects of people that come from broken homes, right? It's also going to be a virtual support group. So more information will be dropped in the chat box. Sign up for that if you're interested. We also have other activities like ASADS Store, where we go to churches, religious institutions to talk about mental health, right? We do all of those things. And then we have our annual mental health conference. Now, for those of us listening now, you might be impressed, like, oh, wow, this is so organized. Yes, we're very structured in this organization. We recruit quarterly. People have the opportunity to volunteer with us. You can volunteer with us for 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. We have a KPI structure and so on and so forth, right? And one of the reasons for this session today is because we realize that a lot of men are dealing with a lot, right? And as boys that have grown to men that are now fathers, we've had to deal with so many things growing up. And so we want to demystify that. We want to bring healing to as many people that listen. I know that we have a lot of mothers here, women here, so you can learn and know how to help your husband. You can learn and know how to help your children, help your partners, and get healing. Please feel free to ask questions towards the end. We know that there are different people that are from different parts of the world on this call. We're going to have a breakout session where members of the team would engage you in a smaller group towards the end of the session. Take advantage of it, network with people, get healing. Don't just come here to listen to what we have to say. We want you to do and practice every single thing that we talk about. So without wasting any much of your time, have a great session, and thank you so much for it. Over to you, Odera. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dari, for the prayer, the icebreaker. I really felt so good after it. Thank you so much, and for talking about ASADS to us. So yes, soon we'll be hearing from our speaker on this very important topic, what every dad should know about their mental health. Well, just before we go into that, I'd like to just give us a short profile of the speaker today, Mr. Dennis Agbeti. He's a mental health counselor, a behavioral change therapist, certified peak performance coach, performance management consultant, and a corporate trainer with a background in education, experience, and exposure in computer science and engineering, life coaching, neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, emotions freedom technique, and matrix re-imprinting technique. So Mr. Dennis helps individuals and organizations shape behavior and culture to enhance performance, multiply productivity and profitability. He achieves this through psychotherapy, coaching sessions, training, and consulting. Interestingly, he's also the managing partner at Greativation Limited, a company that offers employee support programs, psychotherapy interventions, executive and team coaching. He has also facilitated many trainings for organizations across various sectors, organizations like Mio Tennessee, National Assembly Service Commission, Nigerian Port Authority, and many others. And as a youth development expert, he has trained over 7,000 youths across Nigeria. He's also a Google partner for digital literacy in Africa. So guys, I just want to let you know that the person that we have here today is someone that is going to give us, like they say, stuff. So get your papers, get your pens, and we're going to listen to Mr. Dennis for the next few minutes, let's say about 40 to 45 minutes. And just like Dari mentioned, please let's pay attention because there is really a lot to learn. Anything we take here, we're going to really use it in our lives for our dads, our uncles, our children, our boys that will become fathers someday, even our daughters that will become mothers to help. So everywhere is going to, it's literally a circle that will go around and we're going to learn a lot. So Mr. Dennis, I want to specially invite you to take over and do your thing. Thank you so much for coming here, sir. Mr. Dennis Agbeti.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Asats, for organizing this. I'm happy to spend this time with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
All right, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll jump right into it, but before I go into it, how are we all doing today? If you're doing fine, just let me know in the chat box session. How are you doing today? Thank you, everyone that is welcoming me. Thanks for the warm welcome. How are you doing today? Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I can. Oluwatoyin says she's great. Awesome. David, you're doing great. Tony, I'm doing well. Awesome. Fantastic. So today we want to talk about that. Funnily, I'm a dad also. So I have a daughter. And I mean, I was just thinking about this topic, and the first 2 days I was thinking about this topic, I was so blank. And the reason is because a lot of us men, we were not trained to express our emotions. We're not programmed to be vulnerable. And especially if you are now a dad. I was just thinking recently that I find it difficult to buy myself something. Like I don't know the last time I went to buy myself a cloth or buy myself a shoe. So when I want to go for shopping, I'm thinking about my wife. I'm thinking about my daughter. I'm thinking about my younger ones. I want to buy them stuff, but me, myself. So if my wife doesn't buy anything for me, that's the end, you know. So, and I'm just wondering, and as a therapist or as a counselor and a coach, one of the most difficult set of people to work with are actually dads. And it's not because they are difficult, it's just because that they have not been programmed to express their emotions. They've not been programmed to be weak. They've not been programmed to allow themselves to feel emotions. And it's very difficult to work with them. So sometimes I have maybe 12 sessions and it will take me about 6 sessions to first get them to a point where they can be vulnerable before we even start anything. So, and it's not easy, right? Daria was talking about the suicide rates globally. And you will find out that men have the larger chunk of the suicide going on globally, right? And even when we talk about postpartum issues, even me as a professional, what we hear more is postpartum depression for women. But the reality is that men actually go through postpartum depression also. But nobody knows. Even the men don't even know. But statistics have shown that 10% out of every dad go through postpartum depression. Statistics has also shown, research, which one is research, has shown that 45% of men go through serious anxiety and stress, chronic stress, postpartum. Not to talk about what they go through during pregnancy. I'm a dad, and my wife was pregnant. And for 9 months, a lot of things, like a lot of things. I mean, oh my God. Number one, I couldn't cook in my house. It was a taboo to cook. So for full 9 months, I was eating outside. We were all eating outside. So even, there was a time she wants to eat Indomie. She just wants to eat noodles. For a long period, for about 4 months, she just wants to eat noodles. You must not prepare the noodles in the house. And there's a particular noodle spot that I must go to that is so far from my house. And I go to this noodle spot sometimes 3 times a day. There's one moi she wants. And it's that moi, that particular moi. See, there was a day I got there and the woman said, moi are finished. I sat down on the floor. Ma, this moi, we must find it today. We have to go to somebody that's already bought and beg the person. Or else, I will not come back home that day. What about waking up at midnight and they said they want to eat roasted corn? Where do I want to find roasted corn this night? Many things. Is it the time you have to rush to the hospital? You know, a lot of pressure, a lot. But as a man, you cannot complain. Number one, your pain is not even compared to that the woman is going through. So which maps do you have? So you even say you want to say something now. But the reality is a lot of men are dying, a lot of dads are suffering. And and sometimes it now even compounds into dangerous things. And a lot of men are suffering from name calling. So because a man is dealing with his emotions and is not being able to process it, and those emotions have compounded into complicated issues, then you now hear things like, oh, my husband is narcissistic. My husband is not, they label men a lot. And you can't talk. Who are you to open your mouth to talk? Do you know what women are going through? You know, so what we want to do today is to discuss about the pain that fathers go through and how fathers can deal with it, how fathers can. So BMI said, me, I talk. Oh. A lot of men go through postpartum depression, that fathers, a lot of them. I've had to work with men who, and this is common. If I say this now, it's common. It's common. Most men go through it. I'll say the first one. The first one is the fact that when women give birth, they pay attention to their newborn baby, and the men get neglected. Now, it's not the women's fault, right? It's not the women's fault at all, but it's just the reality of the moment. So the men get neglected before the baby comes, the man and the woman, they still spend time together. But now, all the attention, the love is focused on the women. And I've had men come and said that period broke them. As a matter of fact, and this is not to excuse what they did. As a matter of fact, many of the cheating happens between pregnancy and what we call the 4th trimester. That's first 3 months, first 6 months of childbirth. And that's where a lot of marriages break. That's when a lot of things happen. And because the men go through neglect for a long time, everybody, even when the man goes out, when they want to ask you, they'll say, Madam Uncle, Uncle, that where is, how about your wife? How about your children? And the man will say, me, Uncle. But in Africa, we've learned to show that but most of the attention goes to the women and the men and the children. But the men are neglected. And this thing, men go through serious pain. But the problem is most of them don't speak up. Most of them don't know where to go to express these emotions. And it's not wrong to have those emotions, because sometimes when they talk, they get judged. When they say, darling, you don't have my time again, it's only for this baby, they get judged. You must say, what are you wicked? How can this baby be here and you are thinking about yourself? You're not just selfish. You know, and that's why I want to beg the women. We know what you're dealing with. I mean, I have a wife and I know what she's dealing with. Having to, no irregular sleep. She's breastfeeding. She'll probably have to go to work. You know, women go through a lot, right? However, the men also are dealing through a lot. And it's time for us as men and women to come together and see how we can help one another and see how we can be there for one another. So that's the first case study. Number 2 case study is, and this is common, and I'm saying I'm talking from experience as a therapist. A man, you wanted to get married because you don't want to be sleeping around. Your libido is high. And because of you don't want to be sleeping around, you say you want to get married. I want to get married. So you want to get married so that you will stop sleeping around and so that you can enjoy your sexual life and meet your sexual. Only for you to marry the first month. No, not even first month. The first 3 weeks, madam got pregnant. What? Yes, 3 months. Many a times, first trimester is very tough. They may not, you can't even touch her. You'll beat her too much that you can't even touch her. So for some people, from 9 months, they can't have sex. Some women, when they're pregnant for 9 months, sometimes even the man, even if the woman wants to, even you as the man, you'll be afraid. You're like, I don't want to affect my baby. You understand? But men go through serious stress because their emotional needs are not met at that time. Their sexual needs are not met at that time. They go through serious pressure. And that period of 9 months, the fact that your expectation was not even met becomes a problem. Yes, let the egg of the child not go and shit. So they stay away from their wives, and it causes a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So we want to talk about, these are the issues I just wanted to talk about, and we're going to talk about how, as a man, number one, you can know when your mental health is dilapidating, and you can know what to do about it, right? Very, very, very important. So if you have any question, please, I want you to put it in the chat box session, and I will attend to them, God helping me. So let's go to mental health and what that should know about mental health. First of all, what is mental health, right? According to the World Health Organization definition, it said that mental health is a state of well-being where an individual is able to cope with the stressors of life. A state of well-being where you are able to cope and adapt with the stressors, pressures, and difficulties of life. Where you are also in a state where you can build healthy relationships, right? And also where you can be fruitful and productive, right? So Boniface said, I should be gender sensitive to carry the women along. Yes, sure. Yeah, we're carrying the women along, but today we are talking about that. So, it's a state of well-being where you are able to cope and adapt with the pressure, the stressors of life. So whenever you are in a state, especially as a father, where you are finding it difficult to cope, you are finding it difficult to adapt with the pressure, the stressors, and the changes around your life, it means that you're not mentally healthy, or you need to pay attention to your mental health. And when it comes to mental health, there are a lot of mental illness that men go through, also women go through. But today we are talking about that and men. So that's why I'm focusing about men, please. All right. So please don't be offended. We're talking about men today. That's what this seminar is about. That. So I'll be mentioning a lot of that, fathers and men, but please don't be offended. We love the women, we love the women, we love the women. Women, we love you. If you're a lady here, say hi, say hi, say hi. Say we love you, we love you. We love you, our dads, our men, our brothers. Let's show the men love today, please. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So can you see my screen? Okay, so let me just use these slides to show something. So a lot of men go through different mental health issues. We have anxiety disorders that men go through. Men deal with anxiety disorders. Men deal with childhood disorders. Men deal with eating disorders, mood disorders, personality disorders. The one that is common now that people are calling men, love men. Men, this man, a lot of men are sociopath, are psychopath, are narcissistic. Yes, it's true. A lot of men deal, a lot of fathers deal with that. A lot of fathers deal with substance abuse, right? A lot of men are dealing with serious substance abuse. And it's important that if you have a man around you, if you have a father, and many of us will agree that we have fathers that have issues. Most of my therapy sessions I've had to work with women who their trauma emanated from their father. And when I was preparing for today, there's something that is strong on my heart to share with you. And I'm going to even share it now. And I know this thing will help a lot of people. If you grew up with a father that was violent, or that was emotionally unavailable, or that was abusive, listen to me very well, especially if you are still single. There is a high propensity that you are most likely going to be attracted to men like your father. If you grew up with in a home where the father used to cheat, there is a high propensity. Now, sometimes there are few cases that some people escape, right? People get to marry good men or get attracted to good men. But most times, most often than not, there's a high propensity that you are going to be attracted to men like your father. Many a time when I sit in sessions and you see a woman complain about her husband, complain about their boyfriends, you look at their life, you see the same pattern. Their father used to cheat. Their first boyfriend cheated. Now their husband is a serial cheat. It's a pattern. Now, if you are that kind of person, you need to be aware. You need a lot of self-awareness to know that, okay, this is the pattern I grew up with. Your mind has been designed in a way to always gravitate to what is familiar, not what is healthy. You will always gravitate to what is familiar, not necessarily what is healthy. So you need a lot of self-awareness. And sometimes you need to put yourself under accountability to ensure that there is a support group that ensure you don't repeat the same mistakes of your childhood. If you are a man and you grew up under a father that was violent, that was abusive, that was probably cheating, there's a high propensity. It doesn't happen every time, but there's a high propensity you will most likely repeat what your father did, if not all similar. Now, if you know this, you have to be honest with yourself. Then you need to practice a high level of self-awareness and make up your mind that you will not repeat those things you saw your father do. Especially if it happens between the age of 0 and 7. Because what you experienced that time was it has entered into your subconscious. That's why you will see some men, they are very good, they are very kind men. They are so kind, but they don't know why they still hit their wives. After they hit the wife and beat the wife, they will now say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. And they will start begging. They say, I don't know what came over me. Many a time, is that your younger self that experienced what your father went through that is still showing up? And that's the reason why you have to practice a lot of self-awareness and you have to be honest with yourself. Now that I'm saying this, some of you in your mind, you knew your father was like that. You knew your mother was like that, but you are like, it's not me, it can never happen to me. It doesn't work that way. When it will happen, you will be surprised. So if you are here and you have that experience of fatherhood, sometimes we call it father's wound. Your father was not that emotionally available, or your father was an absentee father, or your father was abusive. If you are a woman, you are most likely going to be attracting men like your father. Not because you like what he was, but you don't know why, because that's the way your mind has been designed. So if you know you are going to get help, Go for therapy, get a coach. If you can't get a coach, be honest with a support group that will hold you accountable and ensure you don't repeat the same. Another thing you can do is that you need to expose yourself to people who had healthy fatherhood, or healthy people who are representing real fathers, real fatherhood. So that when you experience that, it cancels your prior experience. So one of the ways to change that programming is by exposure. I just sense to say that in this session. So what are the things? I don't know. Is my screen changing? I'm changing my screen here, but it's as if it's not changing for everyone. Is my screen changing?
It's not.
What do I do to do that? I've been changing it here, but it's not changing.
Try. What you can do is, if you can try and save the document in a PDF format, right? If you save these documents in a PDF format and open it via a PDF, try and reshare it. It would work on that format. Yeah.
Oh, and that I don't think I'll be able to do that here. But let me just probably share it this way. So, what are the causes of mental health issues in fathers? Let me quickly run through this. What are the causes of mental health problems in fathers? Number one, I will talk about is mismanaged emotions. It's the same for everybody, but we are talking about fathers. You can apply this to yourself also. Mismanaged emotions. When as a father, you don't know how to manage your emotions properly, those emotions will begin to affect you. Whatever you don't manage, you are going to lose. I'll say that again. Whatever you don't manage, you are going to lose. When you don't manage your money well, you lose it. When you don't manage your health well, you lose it. When you don't manage your marriage well, you lose it. When you don't manage your emotions properly, you lose control of your emotions. Now, emotions are good. They are not really bad or bad emotions. They're not really good or bad emotions. But when you carry an emotion for too long, it begins to affect you. It begins to become toxic. Now, this is a bottle of water. If I leave this bottle of water for 2 minutes, I probably will not feel any pain. In short, the bottle is empty. But if I lift this bottle and I keep holding this bottle for 20 hours non-stop, my hand will begin to feel so much ache. If I hold on to this bottle for 48 hours non-stop, my hand will go numb. The same thing when you carry emotions for too long, when you carry fear for too long, when you carry anxiety for too long, when you carry offense, when you carry grudge, when you carry disdain, when you carry resentment for too long, they begin to become heavy and they begin to affect you. So having resentment is not bad necessarily. Having anger is not bad. But when you carry them for too long, that's when they begin to hurt you. So as a father, you are encouraged to feel your emotions, but don't release them. You see, when Daniel was doing the breath-breathing exercise, he said, you must release your emotions. It's okay to feel angry. You will feel, so you must feel angry. You will feel angry once in a while. You will feel afraid once in a while. Many times when I hear things like fearless woman, fearless my days in life, there's nothing like fearless woman. You will feel afraid once in a while. Fear is a good emotion. It helps you. It protects you from danger. The thing is that don't hold it for too long. Don't sit for too long. When you feel it, allow yourself to release it. So one of the things that trigger mental health issues for men and for everybody is sustained emotion. You hold on, you nurse emotions for too long. You nurse guilt. Like fathers, some of us, we have guilt. Even for women, you are a mother, you have a 1-year-old child, but you have to go to work. And when time you go to work, you feel guilty as if you're not a good mother. It happens to a lot of mothers. It happens to fathers also. You feel guilty, you don't have enough time for your children. But if you're in Lagos, that you have to wake up by 5 o'clock and come back by 10. But it's okay to feel those emotions. However, don't hold on to it for too long. A lot of men, fathers, you have resentment towards your wife. You feel your wife has neglected you. And you nurse that resentment. You are repeating that thought. This is my wife. She's just wicked. She's not even concerned about my needs. For the past 2 weeks, she's not even touched me. And you will not tell your wife, oh, you will not communicate with your wife, oh, you are not seeing it in your heart. You are not seeing it in your heart. You are allowing the thoughts to bother you. You are setting up yourself for serious issues. That simple thing can complicate to become anxiety, can complicate to become an anxiety disorder. Your wife offended you. Instead of you to let it go or discuss it with your wife and forgive, sometimes your wife will not even tell you sorry. You have to decide to forgive your wife regardless. You won't do that, but you are not seeing it in your heart. That thing will affect you. All your own is anytime you don't have money, you are angry. You are just you'll be harsh to everybody. You isolate yourself. You are setting up yourself. These are things you need to begin to stop. Another trigger of mental health issues, I'm rushing now, is trauma. A lot of men are in this WhatsApp group. You went through something painful, something difficult, but you be, you will not cry, you will not cry. You be doing both ways. I was somewhere. There was a man, there was a long queue. And he was even in the hospital, but a long queue. And this man collapsed. And we tried to resuscitate him, only for him to revive. And he wanted to start again. No, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, God, you're not okay. Oh, God, you're not okay. Come and sit down. No, I did fine. No. Men are embarrassed to look weak. So you went through something traumatic. Some men, the traumatic pain you are dealing with today is the pain your girlfriend in university broke your heart. You gave you breakfast, you have no healed from it. And because of that pain, you have now become very callous to women. And it's now complicating to become a serious personality disorder. You lost your dad, you lost your mom, or you've not allowed yourself gone through the process of healing. That can complicate to become something serious. When you are a child, your mom will beat you to the point that blood will come out. Now you have now become so hard. You don't smile, you don't laugh. Your wife, you don't have time for her. Most of the complaints about them wives give up the pent-up anger, pent-up emotions. So as a man, when you go through trauma, allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to accept you are going through pain. Any pain you hide from, you can't heal from. Any pain you deny, you can't heal from. Any wound, emotional wound you cover, you will not heal from. It will only become bigger. It becomes worse. And you don't know, sometimes you are doing this, you don't know why you are doing it. And listen to me, dear fathers, pleasure does not cure pain. I will say that again. Pleasure does not cure pain. So because you are going through something painful, you think that if you have sex with all the old women in the world, you will feel better. You will only feel worse. If I go for clubbing, if I take alcohol, if I smoke, if I take this, I will feel you may feel a little relief for a while, but it doesn't cure the pain. It's just like you have malaria symptom and your tongue is bitter. The next thing you start taking sugar so that the bitter tongue will go. You will only complicate the problem. So it's important that you deal with your pain. Go for therapy. Get support. Talk to someone you confide in. There's something I want to say. I will do the video this week. Hello, see, if you are a dad, you are a man, one thing that you must do if you are going to survive this tough period is to get accountable. And if you are a young lady here, you are single, never you get married to a man that does not have someone he listens to. You are getting married to somebody that does not have one person he listens to. He doesn't listen to anybody in this world. He is the Lord over himself. Hey, if you try and marry that kind of person, you will suffer. If you are a young man here, make sure you get accountable. Look for an authority figure to submit to. Go to them and tell them, please, you have the right to correct me. And the same thing for if you're a young lady here, make sure you are accountable. Another thing that trigger, let me say something about that again. Rejection of accountability is an invitation to irresponsibility. If you are a young man and you refuse to be accountable, you are saying what you are saying indirectly that you want to be irresponsible. Write that down, please. Rejection of accountability is a direct invitation to be irresponsible. A trigger for mental health issues among that is stress. When you don't manage your stress level well, it is said that 75% to 90% of all doctor visits is stress related. So manage your stress well. Hopefully, I'll maybe talk about that more. Sickness and injury. A lot of men are dealing with all kinds of sicknesses. A lot of men are dealing with sicknesses. I was reading a report by an associate professor in Lasso, and she was telling me the rate of high blood pressure among the men, boys between the age of 20 and 30, has increased. I think they said right now, 2 in every 5 young men in Lagos have high blood pressure. You see a young man, 28, you already have a liver problem. And many a time is the compound effect of accumulated stress that crashes your immune system, accumulated effect of drug abuse. And this can even become, because once your body is weak, your mind most likely will be weakened. When your body is weak, your emotions will be weak. Because the body, the mind, and the emotions are connected. We call it the cybernetic system. So long-term physical sickness can trigger mental health issues for a lot of people, because many a times they become worried, they become tired of life, they begin to feel emotions of hopelessness, and before you know it now, it begins to affect them. Another thing that affects a lot of men is lack of purpose. Lack of purpose. You are making all your money, but you don't have a direction in life. There's no meaning to your life. There's no meaning to your wealth. So you see a man that has money, he has a wife, he has children, and he's still committed suicide. And research has shown that one of the core reasons for that is lack of meaning. The essence for your life is that you have an assignment on earth. You have a purpose in life. And the general purpose of a man is to love, to give, and I forgot the fourth thing. The essence that you are, the reason why you are successful is so that you can help others to succeed. The reason why you become great is to help others become great. You are blessed to be a blessing. When you are blessed and you stop at being blessed, you will compound your problem. And that challenge, and that thing that causes mental health issues for men, indiscipline, addiction, pornography, masturbation is destroying a lot of that. I've had to work with men married for years, but they don't have sex with their wife. And you would think, oh, maybe they're not even physically cheating. What they are doing, they have been hooked to porn and masturbation. You see men that have not touched their wife for 1 year. Why? They are hooked to masturbation. If you are here and you've not started masturbating, please don't try it. Those I want you to know how it feels. Don't try it. Because once you get hooked, it's very difficult to come out. And it affects you. It affects your self-esteem. It breaks down your immune system. It breaks down your confidence level. You begin to have identity crisis. You might even develop what we call psychosexual issues. You see men now, you see them attracted to children. Many a time, by the time you check it, it's porn. Okay, so toxic environment, you're a man, you're in a toxic environment, you put yourself inside a problem. I've been told I have 8 minutes more, so I'm going to rush now. Let's look at how men can take care of their mental health. So what are the signs that a man is already having a mental health issue, or you're already having a mental health issue? Number one, you're feeling sad, you're feeling down, always feeling sad and down. Number two, you're having confused thinking, or you're having reduced ability to concentrate. Number three, you're having excessive fears and worries, or extreme feeling of guilt. You're having extreme mood changes, or high and lows. You are withdrawing from your friends and withdrawing from activities. These are signs that you might be developing a mental health issue, and you need to check that. You need to go and see a professional, or you need to go and rest, or I will show you some of things you can do. Significant tiredness, low energy, and problem with sleeping. You are having detachment from reality, right? Or you are having ability to cope with daily problems and stress. These are warning signs that a dad, you are having issues. You're having trouble understanding or relating to situations and people. You're having problem with alcohol or other drug abuse. These are signs that they're wild up, there's fire on the mountain. Major changes in eating habits, changing in sex drive, excessive anger, hostility to people around you, violence, suicidal thinking, drop in function and not functioning as you used to, ignoring personal grooming and hygiene, increased sensitivity. You are hearing, you see more than the obvious. You are hearing sounds that others are not hearing. These are warning signs that as a dad, you might be having a mental health issue is already coming. So if you are a wife, you are a daughter, please pay attention to your dad. If you are a wife, pay attention to your husband. If you have brothers at home, please pay attention to them. Many of the men will not want to agree they are dealing with issues. But maybe as a lady around them, you can pay attention to them and allow them to feel safe around you so that they can open up. I'll have to jump all these places because of time. Okay. So let's look at how to take care of your mental health as a dad. I have 5 minutes more. Number one, eat right. Eat right. Eat a lot of alkaline-rich foods. Eat a lot of vegetables. When we say alkaline-rich food, we're talking about foods like vegetables. When you are eating eba as a man, not that you will carry a mountain of fufu, then the soup will be very small, and you are going to collapse that mountain. You are not helping yourself. The food you eat affects your mind. So eat right, eat alkaline-rich food, vegetable, eat a lot of fruits, right? Reduce your intake of sugar as a man. Sugar is not good for your mental health. Reduce your intake of caffeine. Reduce your intake of alcohol. Reduce smoking. Another thing as a dad, sleep well. We encourage and recommend an average of 7 to 8 hours daily sleep. If you have time in the afternoon, take afternoon naps. 20 minutes a nap can make a difference for your mind. You are more relaxed. Exercise. We encourage exercise of 3 to 5 times every week. Minimum 3 times a week. It helps you. Practice gratitude. Men, say thank you. Learn to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Learn to appreciate yourself. Learn to appreciate people around you. It is not weakness. If you tell your wife thank you, you will not die. If you tell yourself thank you, you will not die. Practice gratitude. How do you know you are practicing gratitude? How do you know you are not practicing gratitude? When you are always complaining. One of the ways to stop, if you want to improve your emotions, improve your mental well-being, stop complaining. Practice gratitude. If you say, coach, you don't understand the problem and you are in, practice gratitude for not being worse. So let's say you are in a situation where now you are looking for money to pay your rent. You have to be grateful that you even have money to eat. You even have to be grateful that you even have a house in the first place. Practice gratitude. Practice mindfulness. Drink water. Hydrate a lot. We recommend that you take between 12 to 16 cups per day. That's about 2.7 liters to 3.7 liters per day. Hydrate, drink a lot of water as a man, right? Please, this applies to women too, all right? So don't be angry, eh? Now I'm mentioning men, that a lot. Please don't be angry, right? Stay connected. Spend time with your wife. Spend time with your girlfriend. Spend time with your kids. Don't leave your children for your wife alone and say that. Then my own duty is to give money. If I give money, I'm okay. No, that's not your duty, my friend. I did a video today. Listen to me. If you're a lady, you're not married yet, and if you're a guy, you're not married yet, you're married, even listen. If all you do in your home is to provide just money, you are not doing well. Money is good. Providing money is okay. It's a must. But there's more you should provide than money. As a man, you have to provide protection. You have to provide attention. You have to provide attention. You have to provide direction. You have to provide leadership to your home. A lot of women, their husband gives them money, but they are so miserable. Because what they are looking for with the money is affection. They want your attention. They want you to be there to lead the home. Spend time with your wife, spend time with your children, spend time with friends. It pumps oxytocin into your system. And as a man, you need a lot of oxytocin. The next is practice self-kindness. Dear that, be kind to yourself. A lot of us men, you have to ask on yourself. Offer yourself unconditional love and unconditional kindness. Be kind to yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. I'm not doing enough. I don't feel I'm doing enough. No. Accept yourself regardless. Unconditional forgiveness. Forgive yourself. You have done something wrong before. We agree. But it is the past. Allow it to go and forgive yourself. Sorry for my slide. I'm seeing some. This is not the slide I'm supposed to use. I'm just utilizing what I have here because I'm not where I'm meant to be right now. Resilience. Practice resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is simply bounce back ability. When something bad happens, practice bouncing back. Don't stay there. When you feel bad, feel the emotion, but don't stay there. Bounce back. It's okay to fall. It's okay to fail. It's okay to have shortcomings, but don't stay there. Bounce back. Allow yourself to bounce back. When you fall, rise again. Bill Gates said, success is going from failure to failure to failure to failure without losing enthusiasm until you get to your goal. Shun drug abuse. Leave Igbo, leave weed, leave it or reduce it if you cannot stop. Reduce your intake of alcohol. The next one is get help. Get help. Go see a therapist. Go see a coach. See Assad. They can help you. They will direct you to where you need to go. All right. And that thing is that manage your expectations as a man. A lot of time you are expecting, your expectations are not in line with reality. And many times your expectations are not met. And when they're not met for a long time, it begins to affect you. Expectation can deal with you if it's not met. And the expectation can become pain, can become disappointment. When your expectations are not met, begin to feel disappointment. When your expectations are not met, begin to feel resentment. So make sure you don't be expecting too much from your wife. Your wife is not El Shaddai. Don't kill her. She can't meet all your needs. Okay? So reframe your interpretation. Okay, my time is up. All right, so that I don't offend my Assad people. I have to stop here. There's more to say, but because of time, I have to stop here. I hope you got value for today. Okay, so I'm going to just stop by saying that as a man, please take responsibility for your mental health, right? You can't blame anybody. Yeah, it may not be your fault that you're where you are right now. However, it's your responsibility to take care of yourself and ensure you live a healthy and happy life. You deserve to be happy, right? Anybody here, both men and women, deserve happiness. All right? God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. This was quite an impactful session. And truly, I've learned so much. And one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that you spoke about men to go through postpartum depression. And, I saw it for the first time, I saw it in that light. I've always been, even as a mental health counselor, I tend to focus more on the women because I feel they are the ones carrying the pregnancy, they are the ones going through stress and all of that. But thank you for mentioning that. From today onwards, I would pay more attention to the men. It's time for questions and answers. And if you have any questions, please do drop it in the chat box, or if you prefer to speak, you can use the emoji to raise your hand, then we'll allow you ask your questions. So we're going to be doing that for maybe like 20 minutes. So if you have any questions, please do drop your questions. And for those of you that joined late, my name is Elizabeth, and I'm with the mental health training department in ASADS, and I'm the team lead. We're happy to have you here this afternoon. So I'll check the chat box if we have any questions. Okay, I can't see any questions. Anyone want to say something? No questions? Okay. Margot David, please, could someone unmute him so that he can ask his question, please? Unmute your mic and speak, please, Mr. David.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Dennis, for the great session we just had. All right, so you talked about patterns, talking about, someone having a repetition of whatever they experienced while growing up. I have a friend who is married now, and yes, this guy has always been known to be the tough one. Now he's married, he's having this issue in his marriage about not being emotional, not showing his weak points or weaknesses. So how can we help someone like that? You've said a lot. Yeah, tend to reach out and really. But how can the wife that doesn't know this aspect of him right now, or doesn't have this information, how can she help such a man? Just to show his vulnerability. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that question. So that issue I just mentioned is very rampant, very, very rampant. A lot of men didn't have a role model, or let me not say didn't have a role model father. There's this pattern in Africa where men are not programmed, or we're not programmed to express their emotions, or you see, they don't even want to cry. They don't want to see their wife cry. You see, I saw a video that was trending recently where I think the father of a bride, the bride was thanking the father, and the father was crying and the man was crying, and people were rushing to the guy to stop crying. I'm like, is it leprosy for a man to cry? So the son was appreciating the mother for being a good mother. The son was crying and the father was crying. Now they left the woman that was crying and the wife that was crying. They went to the man that was crying, and people were rushing them to stop, like we're covering him. So there's this. So you see that it's more like a cultural thing, right? So, and it's not your fault. It's not, many of us, not our fault. However, we all have to, as men, we have to unlearn it, right? We have to unlearn and relearn. And a lot of men like, that's how I am. I don't smile. I don't cry. That's how I am. There's nothing like that's how you am. You are not that way. You are not that way, right? That's not how you are. That's how you've been programmed to be. However, you can reprogram yourself. You can unlearn that and relearn it. And you can be aware of your emotions. You can express your emotions. You can allow people around your wife to express her emotion, and you are okay with it, right? I tell men, when your wife wants to cry, allow her to cry. Be the shoulder, give her shoulder to cry. right? Don't try to solve the problem. When she cries and she's okay, she feels like you are there with her. You understand how she feels. See, she herself, the solution, she knows what she wants to do. She knows what to do. She's very intelligent. Don't think she's not intelligent. The fact that she's emotional does not mean to allow her to feel it. When she feels it, she feels that you are with her, you get her, you understand her feeling. You'll be surprised how she'll be okay and she'll be okay. So for now, your friend, how you can help her, first thing I would recommend is that you have to encourage him to see a counselor like Mrs. Elizabeth here now. Then I would let him go and see a mental health counselor so that they can, because we don't know what the cause might be. We don't know what he went through as a child, right? I had to work with men who, when they were children, they used to beat them black and blue. That kind of child, he needed to be emotionally tough to survive childhood. But now he's an adult, nobody's beating him, but he's already programmed that way. So the therapist might need to get into that past to help him resolve that, right? So that's the first thing I would say. However, if he's not willing, because most men will not agree, right? Especially if the counselor is not a woman, like most of them might not agree. So what we encourage is that what you can do is to see how you can speak, you can enlighten them, lead them to materials that can teach them about emotional awareness. They can learn about emotional intelligence, and everybody can develop emotional intelligence. So give them exposure to emotionally intelligent materials, right? Then the wife, I don't like women carrying too much burdens. Now, want to start telling the wife what to do to help the man. The wife is already doing a lot. Honestly, women are doing a lot already. So I don't like them. Women are not rehabilitation centers for men, badly raised men. I don't believe in putting much burden. However, what the woman can do is to understand where to short, please. Let them see a therapist. Sorry, let them see a coach. Let's not put more body on the woman. Okay, so but you as a friend, you can talk to your friend and give to your friend materials, emotional intelligence material, explain to your friend. Hopefully he listens to you. If he cannot listen to you, please take the man to somebody, an authority figure he listens to. Right? Let them report the case to somebody he is afraid of. Then the person will be able to communicate with him. I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dennis, for that. I would pick a question now from the chat box. It says the person is asking, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis, for enlightening us. How do we relate to fathers who are so hard on themselves, who are in the stage of regrets and low self-worth?
Almost the same questions, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody put in the chat box session, many a times, if they are not willing, there's little or nothing you can do, right? If they are not even aware there's a problem, because a lot of time when you confront them, it's wrong, like, what do you know, this small boy, there's nothing you can do about it. So what can I say now? Okay, so if you are in that kind of situation, what you can do is to probably use the right questioning skills to help them open up. So instead of you to start talking to them or trying to teach them, which most times they will not listen to, is to use open questions to see whether you can open them up, right? And show genuine concern, right? That they need to see that you are concerned, one. However, with that concern, you need to learn what we call your ability to build rapport. So when you are going to your dad, maybe your dad is seated like this. When you are seated in front of your dad, you might also want to mirror his posture. Then ask him open question. Daddy, how are you feeling? Say, I'm fine. You now go on and say, how are you feeling really?
Yeah.
Yes, how are you feeling? It's a greeting. It's greeting in Nigeria. How are you is a greeting. It's not a question anymore. So you say, how are you feeling really? But say, I'm fine now. Then you now tell him something you observe. That I observed that this is how you used to be, but you've changed it to what is going on. Don't say why. Why we trigger defense or we trigger lie. So we encourage you don't use the word why. You don't use the question why. You use what. What's going on? Would you like to share? You see, I'm asking questions. So you can use questions to help him open up. So when he now starts to stop, is this money issue that is coming up? Is the fact that when my mates those days were building houses, now I was using my own money to carry women. Or something, they will just tell you what it is. When you are not able to know what is really bothering them, that's when you can now help them. So don't start with going to teach them anything. Start with concern, right? Genuine concern. Ask the right questions. And I hope I've been able to answer your questions.
Yeah, hopefully. Our hand is up. Justice, unmute your mic and ask your question. We have a few more minutes left before we go into our breakout rooms. And for those of you that have never been in a breakout room before, we're going to be broken into smaller groups, like Dari said in the beginning. So we'll have a smaller room and we'll discuss further after our questions and answers. But Justice, you can ask your question, please.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Dennis.
Good afternoon.
Quite an impressive section. I must tell you, at this stage, I don't want to say I'm feeling depressed, which I am. It's high time one, talk things out and be free. There are things you don't share online presently, but seeing a help, which you maybe after the meeting, I call and I'll be talking for the past 2-3 hours with different help us on that. How can one go up from depressed? You can be depressed for the past 2 years, and it's tearing me apart just because I have 2 kids. And right now, I've not been sleeping for the past 2 weeks. I cry as a man every day and every night, every morning. It's tearing me apart. I look at the kids. I look at the kids, and I can hear you. I look at the kids, and I don't want to give them the same life their mother have lived. So that has been a snitch on my life. So how do one step up from this? That's my question. Thank you.
I'm so sorry about how you feel. I'm so happy that you had the courage to speak up, and God bless you for speaking up. We are so happy that you did, and that's the reason why Assad is here. I know they'll be so happy that you were able to speak up, and we are so grateful. Because of time, I know they have a lot of things. What we are going to encourage you, Dari and Elizabeth, please let's see how we can reach out to him, and we'll be able to take it up from there. I could talk with him or whatever. So, Mr. Justice, all right, we are going to attend to you privately so that we'll help you resolve whatever is going on. God bless you. I pray that God comforts you. And we are also here to help you. All right, we'll be here to help you. Okay, thank you so much. Elizabeth, you're muted.
I'm so sorry. The last one, since we have like 5 minutes, I can see a question there. How do I help one with a mental issue who only smokes to get himself back?
Okay. So first of all, when you observe that someone is dealing with a mental health illness, we're trying to push this awareness that mental health issues are like, I'm being careful what I'm about to say, are just like physical ailments. When somebody is having, let's say, a physical ailment, you're not thinking of what to do. You are thinking of taking the person to the hospital. So because a lot of time in the bid of helping someone with a mental health issue, people complicate their problems. So what we encourage is that just encourage the person to see a mental health professional, a psychiatrist, a clinical psychologist or at least a counselor, right? Please, that is what we strongly recommend. Or at least speak to Assad listeners. Then if it's something they cannot handle, then direct to the appropriate professional. We are strongly encouraging that, right? So especially when it is something chronic, we encourage that please either take the person to the hospital or a psychiatry, or at least see a mental health counselor or a counselor or a medical doctor. Then they will be able to push them to the appropriate quarters. What you can do is to learn what we call mental health first aid or psychological first aid, right? Where you tend to listen to the person, right? Sometimes for someone that is already dealing with some certain symptoms, listening may not be enough. For some people, listening might be enough once they are listened to in a non-judgmental way, and they know that what they are telling you will be treated with high confidentiality. Many of them are good, right? But some may need extra help. So we strongly encourage that, and we want us to imbibe that culture of directing people to the right quarters so that they get the appropriate mental health care.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. And we're actually ready to go into our breakout rooms soon. And I have a question to back up or the person's question, because with mental health issues, from experience, I know that person has to be willing. You get, because this one is talking about someone he's trying to help someone, but sometimes these people are not they don't even realize they have an issue. So that's usually would I call it a bottleneck for people? Yeah. So I don't know. If you have someone that is unwilling or doesn't realize, how do you help that person realize that, okay, I don't know, how do you make, there are some people that no matter what you tell them, what is the easiest way to get somebody to realize that, okay, I have an issue?
So it's a common problem, and mental health issues are not like physical health issues. So the person can be working, one person is working, I'm making money now, I'm doing well on my job. They feel like they're okay, right? And sometimes even the fact that you don't know something is wrong and every other person knows something is wrong is a sign that you have a mental health issue. That's one of the major symptoms of some mental health problems. So what we can do is to expose them to, we call it, what we call it. So I'll just use the layman language, storytelling. But there's something we call it in psychology, I've forgotten exactly, but storytelling. So you can use storytelling to mirror their situation and mirror the consequence of their situation. You don't get help, and you probably need to say it over and over again until it gets to their subconscious and they are able to realize. You allow them to realize. Number two is so one of the things we can do is to do what we call unconditional acceptance. Sometimes you don't need to accept people for the way they are until they trust you enough to hear what they are saying, because people don't care about what you know until they know that you care. So sometimes, not like they are not living, but they just feel like you are coming from a place of judgment. They probably have been judged all their lives. They probably have been ostracized all their lives, and they just locked up, right? People don't care, right? So you can allow yourself to show them unconditional care and love for a long period of time until you win their trust to the point that they can listen to you, to be able to ask and help you are going to give them. So the third thing I can also encourage, if you whatever religion you practice, pray for your friends. Because the lack of willingness is a major thing. The third thing is what I can encourage. Everybody needs to have somebody you reference, you are afraid of. The word is not afraid, but you reference. Somebody that you listen to, somebody that you talk to. So you can go to the person that the person submits to. So you have a friend that has a problem, but he has a boss at work that he is afraid of. Talk to that boss. That might help.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're ready to go into our breakout rooms, and we're going to be discussing further what we've learned today. And please just feel free. It's going to be in smaller groups, and the whole idea is for us to feel at home and talk more and get to know each other more. And I just want everyone to feel very free and comfortable. And it's a safe place. You can talk about anything there. I just wanted to add that. So
before we do
Mr.
that,
Dare,
Odera has a few things to say, please. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Odera.
So just briefly before we go into our breakout rooms, I just want to discuss a few things with us. So like we've seen now, we've heard a lot of things and we've learned a lot of things from Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis, thank you so much. So I just want to draw our attention to one, the electronic certificates. Those are the e-certificates. They are ready. So now that you've come for this training, it makes sense to have some sort of proof or show that yes, you've had some training and you're able to educate other people on this kind of topic, talking about, fathers or dads and their mental health. So the e-certificate is just 2,000 Naira. In the chat box, we have our members who have dropped the details. So you can pay for it and contact the number there if you're interested in the e-certificate. For those that are professionals, it will really look good on your resume, your CV. In the world currently, it's very important to put one's mental health first, alongside your physical health. Secondly, we have another upcoming event. It's a support group. It's important for us to also come and learn about this. In the chat box, so you see the link for that. We can register for that. It's coming up in a few days. That's on the 15th of July. Thirdly, and lastly for now, there's also the feedback form. Please, we want to be able to improve on how we deliver these training sessions. So we would really appreciate if every one of us could, fill the form. Let us know how we are doing. Let us know in what areas we can improve. Our volunteers, that's our members of the team, will drop the feedback form occasionally. Also in the breakout rooms, they're going to drop it there just to remind us if there's anything you feel like we could do better or something we are even doing wrong that you think we can improve upon, please let us know. So at this point, Mr. Dare, I think we can go into the breakout rooms.